This is a tough topic, but I think a very important topic, especially if you're a dog lover. Just be aware that we are going to be talking about dog fighting. My whole life, all I've wanted to do is make a difference for animals. I live my life to hopefully make some kind of impact on animals in this world. And that's why I started a farm animal sanctuary so I could have that much more of an impact. In Texas, they did an operation called Operation Pitbull, and they were breaking up a pitbull fighting ring that they had a lot of people make complaints about. They suspected it was a fighting ring happening. And they spent from March until November 2025 investigating, getting what they needed, and finally doing their bust. There was an active fight in progress. The officers were able to use pepper spray to get the dogs to break up. They brought those two dogs to a veterinary clinic. There were 45 people at this fight, and to be watching it and not actively involved is a misdemeanor. So they were released within 24 hours. The most heartbreaking piece of all of this is, and I don't care what the excuse is, the sheriff was not ready to take dogs in. There were 14 other dogs on the property. They were left there, which I can only imagine without food or water because neighbors had made complaints about all the barking and there were no police there. How do we know there were no police there? Well, after the individuals that were spectating were released, someone went to the property and took the 14 dogs. I also stand firm on this was a complete failure by the sheriff's department and any organizations involved, because how do you do a sting like this from March until November and you don't collaborate with rescues across the country, across the entire US, to have them ready to take those dogs? Some of these stings remove 100 plus dogs from situations like this. How are you not ready? I believe it is inexcusable. The sheriff is saying, well, we're a small place, like we don't even have a place to put human criminals at this point. You've been planning this since March. They were putting out a plea for rescues across the country to step out after, well, the dogs were left at the property. So this reel is strictly, if you suspect something, say something. If you think there's a potential of something sketchy going on at your neighbor's property, or someone says something weird at work, there's teachers, principals, doctors, dentists, people from all walks of life that have been caught at these stings. If something doesn't sit right, please speak up. These animals depend on us. And this practice is still a lot more common than people realize.